Hey guys, welcome to Cape Cowl Cafe. I'm Nemo, and today we are going to be going through some of the internet's Batman hot takes. Now, before we get into that, I wanted to give you guys some exciting news. So, I'm a pretty new channel, but I recently just had my first successful video with this one passing 10K views. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's absolutely huge for me. So I wanted to celebrate by doing a giveaway for you guys. I'll be drawing 3 winners. First place will be able to choose between this LEGO Speed Champion set or these 2 Funko Pops, Mr. Terrific from the Superman movie and Batman Beyond. Second place will get the prize that the other person didn't want. And then there will be a third place winner who will receive this LEGO Star Wars Death Trooper and Night Trooper Battle Pack set. All you have to do to win is subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below with your hottest Batman take. I will announce the winners on September 19th. That is a Friday. I will release a new video that day, and I will provide an email address in the description for the winners to reach out with proof that I tagged them as the winners. All right, now with that out of the way, let's hop into these hot takes. This first one says, Batman should have a happy ending where he finally abandons the cowl. I do not agree with this. I don't think Batman should have like a happy ending or a bad ending. I like it how it is in the Batman Beyond cartoon, where he just continues to be Batman until he is so old that he is forced to quit. Like in that scene in the first episode where he's forced to reach for the gun while he's trying to save the hostage. I think that that is just something that Batman would do. He would push himself to the very limit until he just absolutely cannot be Batman anymore physically.
Sit this one out. I can handle Freeze. Maybe it's time to pass the torch.
I'll pass the torch when the mission's over.
I honestly prefer the stories where Batman is the lone wolf. Alone, no help, no aid. This is stupid, okay? Batman has countless allies. I mean, he works with Commissioner Gordon all the time. That's always interesting to see. I mean, there's a reason why everyone loves Robin so much. I mean, there's a reason that he is there. Robin is there to remind Batman that he fights for hope and he fights for the people. He doesn't fight just to dish out vengeance and, you know, this is a stupid take. My favorite argument against killing the Joker is if you justify it because Joker is undeniably the worst criminal in the city. So just this once, then how do you stick to the code when the city decides Two-Face or Penguin is the new worst criminal in the city and they're protesting Batman for refusing to make that decision twice? Better not cross the line to begin with. I like when this is what Batman tells himself. Like that scene in Under the Red Hood where Batman's like,
If I allow myself to go down into that place, I'll never come back.
That's just what Batman tells himself, but it's not the reality of how he acts and how he thinks and how he operates. Batman is extremely mentally ill, and the trauma that he experienced as a child is preventing him from crossing that line, making that decision. He can't. And it's more of a character flaw. That's why Jason works so well in that story, because he's pointing out that flaw. He's like, Batman, you need to cross that line because you're not making sense anymore. Why is Joker still running around? I kind of agree with this, but I like this argument more when that's what Batman tells himself. How he's like, oh, like if I kill one person, I'll just keep killing. I don't think that's what would happen. He's not just gonna start killing people left and right if he kills the Joker. That doesn't make any sense. But he would tell himself that. Bruce Wayne is not the mask. Batman is a persona that he implements to do good at night while his real identity improves the world during the day. I don't think either of them is the mask, okay? Because Bruce Wayne is not the playboy running around, hooking up with chicks, and then Batman is not his true self. And I know that people are gonna rebut this hot take with that one comic panel where Batman has his hand on the lasso of truth and, you know, they're like, give up your, you know, like, tell us your real name. He's like, I'm Batman. Like, that makes sense, but I think his real, true self is the 8-year-old boy that saw his parents get gunned down. But that version of himself is something that Batman protects and guards so aggressively that it rarely comes out. And both Batman and Bruce Wayne are there to protect that version of himself. I think they're both the mask. Bruce should be the only Batman. I don't like the idea of him retiring and people taking up the mantle. It feels really counterintuitive for the point of Batman, which is that he's not a good guy. He's very obviously not perfectly sane, and he doesn't want other people to end up like him. The Dark Knight Returns is the most overrated Batman comic book ever. I 100% agree with this. This is not a hot take. Everyone treats that storyline like it's gospel, like it's canon, when it should be treated like an Elseworlds story, which it is. The worst thing about this story is what Zack Snyder did with it. He got his grubby little hands all over it, and he used it to make some of the most dumb decisions in his movies. He took a look at this panel where Batman's holding a rifle, and he's like, oh, my Batman's gonna use guns, and he's gonna kill people. But if he would have just flipped the page, he would have seen this next panel where Batman snaps the gun in half and says, this is the weapon of cowards. I'm convinced he didn't even read the book, but he cites it as his main inspiration for his version of Batman. Pure lunacy. I think the Bat family has gotten too big. At this point, Batman should retire since he basically has his own Justice League running around Gotham. This is not a hot take. I think the Bat family should just be Batman, Alfred, Dick, Jason, Barbara, Tim, Damian. That's it. Anyone extra that you want to have should just be in stories where they team up with the Bat family sometimes. They're not official members of the Bat family. I like it when the Bat family feels like a family. It's not an organized team like the Justice League. And the best way to do that is to limit the numbers. Okay, all these extra characters like Batwoman, Signal, Cassandra Cain, Batgirl, spoiler, Batwing, they should not be staples in the Bat family. They should not be there all the time. It just makes it feel so cluttered and very CW-like, like you're watching a CW show and they're adding new characters every other episode. I don't like it. Keep the Bat family relatively small, please. The Tumbler was an awful Batmobile, and the Batmobile as a tank-like vehicle is a horrible idea, as well as ugly as sin. They are completely correct. The Tumbler is ugly. All Bat tanks are ugly. I think the perfect Batmobile is just a sleek, souped-up muscle car, like the BTAS Batmobile, or the Robert Pattinson one, or the Michael Keaton one. You don't gotta make it too complicated. You don't have to make it too complicated. And look at what Batman carries on his person on a day-to-day basis. He wears his costume with his belt, some smoke bombs, and some batarangs. Like, he doesn't have an Iron Man war suit. He's not walking around with the most advanced technology, even though he very well could. So why would his Batmobile be a war machine when it doesn't need to be? He's a character that likes to kind of stay under the radar, so why would he be driving a tank? It just doesn't make any sense. Bruce being trained by Ra's al Ghul should be standard in the mythos. It's by far the most natural way for them to meet. I agree with this, partially. I think that the League of Assassins should be one of the stops that Bruce makes on his journey while training. But what makes Ra's al Ghul so interesting is he has such an infatuation with Batman. Batman's pretty much the only man that this guy respects. He calls him detective. And the reason why is because he wants Batman to be his heir, to take over as the head of the demon after Ra's dies. And the best way to set this up is if they meet while Bruce is training. That's the perfect opportunity for Ra's al Ghul to become, so enamored by Batman and this guy is crazy. He could take over for me. Miller's All-Star Batman and Robin and The Dark Knight Strikes Again are great reads. I'm going to ignore that second book that he mentions. Let's focus on the first one. This guy is either rage baiting or he genuinely believes this, in which case we need to take away his internet. All-Star Batman and Robin is the worst Batman story ever written. Now, let me lay this out for you, okay? All-Star Batman and Robin retells Dick Grayson's origin story and adds a few things. It starts out with the Flying Graysons dying as normal, but instead of Bruce Wayne adopting Dick Grayson and taking him under his wing, Batman kidnaps him from the circus. He then takes him, not to Wayne Manor, but to the Batcave. He throws him in the cave, and when Dick Grayson complains about being hungry, Batman goes, "There's rats." What are we doing? This is a great read to you? Okay. But it's not just that. There's also a scene where Batman and Robin interrogate Green Lantern. Now, this is back in the day when Green Lantern's weakness was still the color yellow. So they painted themselves yellow, they painted the room yellow, they're serving lemonade. It's kind of funny. But, they're interrogating Green Lantern for something. I don't even remember. I haven't read this book since high school because it was so dumb. But anyway, Robin shatters Green Lantern's collarbone, to which Batman responds by calling him a little snot and then throwing him through the wall. I don't even know what to say about this book. This is the worst thing I have ever seen. And if that wasn't enough, there was also a scene where Batman and Black Canary have intercourse among a pile of burning corpses. At least I think they're burning corpses. I don't remember. There's a bunch of dead people. They killed everyone. Let's just take a moment to be grateful that Zack Snyder did not read this book before he made his movie, because if he did, Batman v Superman could have been completely different. It could have been way worse. Great read. I really enjoyed Batman Forever. It was just a fun movie. I agree with this. Batman Forever wasn't that bad, and Val Kilmer is an extremely underrated Bruce Wayne. But yeah, this isn't really a hot take. Wonder Bat. That is all. Yeah, that's all you gotta say. I really liked this idea, and I was really frustrated when they would tease it in those old DCAU cartoons, and then they never did anything with it, because it just makes so much sense, and especially in that universe, their chemistry was great. But also, it's a nice twist on the usual status quo for Batman with his relationships, because usually he's like afraid for anyone to get too close to him, because, you know, he's all like, if my enemies ever found out, they'd be in danger. And like, yeah, that makes sense, but Wonder Woman's the most, you know, she's one of the most powerful beings on the planet, so what are Batman's villains gonna do? Like, is Joker gonna kidnap Wonder Woman? Okay, sure. Batman 2022 was the best one so far. That is not crazy to say. In fact, here's my hot take. The Batman is better than The Dark Knight. I know, I'm sorry. Attack me in the comments if you want. It's fine with me that Batfleck killed people. Just go read The Punisher. Go watch The Punisher show. You don't like Batman, just admit it. All right, you're not cool, you're not tough. Bruce should have raised a private army instead of going alone as Batman, and he should have run for mayor or something. He could have cleared Gotham so much easily. That Bat Bull is just meh. I'm trying to decide if this person has a brain or not. The whole reason why Batman operates as a vigilante is because you can only really fix the corrupted system of Gotham from outside of the system. If you were inside the system, you are more likely to become corrupted yourself. I mean, it doesn't matter who's mayor. Bruce Wayne should just run for mayor. That doesn't matter. If you watch The Batman, they explained that Carmine Falcone was the mayor for, you know, the last forever, despite not actually being the mayor. He was just controlling everybody. So why would it be any different if Bruce Wayne was mayor? You know, because then he'd be restricted to the confines of the law, and he would be forced to follow that corrupted system. His best love interest is Talia. This is a brain dead take. Talia is a terrible person. She assaulted Bruce, forced a child upon him, and then when that child disappointed her because he chose his father, she cloned him, and then that clone killed her son. No, she is not a good love interest. She is a terrorist. Arkham Knight is peak, and so is Arkham Jason. No, Arkham Knight is peak, gameplay-wise. The story is ass. Jason makes no sense. Okay, the whole reason why Jason is mad in the comics is because the Joker's still running around. He's like, Batman, why didn't you kill the Joker? He's still running around. What's going on? But in the Arkham universe, Jason comes back and Joker is dead. Not only that, but the whole world thinks that Batman killed him. So why is Jason upset? And Jason didn't even die in this universe. He just escaped. This makes no sense. Anyway, that's going to be about it for today, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video at any point today, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget about the giveaway. I really appreciate those of you who are watching and supporting. You guys are awesome. Until next time, see you guys later.